let's talk about Channel 4, because a number of conservative culture secretaries have avoided this. It has been party policy for a long time, but they knew announcing the decision to privatise was going to see the London liberal left-wing mob come for them. You've made the decision to do it, and sure enough, they have come for you in quite an extraordinary manner, actually. I mean, Alistair Campbell said the Channel 4 move is right out of the Orban playbook, and time to make it blatant. Part of their purpose is to wind up Liberals. Claudia Webb, the disgraced former Labour MP, said this is the seedbed of fascism. Angela Rayner said this is cultural vandalism from a government that's run out of ideas, run out of road, and has no interest in levelling up. Why are they so upset about Channel 4 being privatised?
Can I just say, all of those three statements are just completely untrue and border on bizarre. And I think we've moved from I've been an MP for quite a long time, and when you said something, it would be evidence-backed and it would be substantially truthful. It seems today as though the attacks are just words picked at random to make an attack. None of what any of those three individuals has said. But Alistair Campbell has a long history of attacking me personally. He's one of those men, I'm afraid, who can't accept women from my background doing well. He's, quite abusively attacked me for many years. He hates anybody who is pro-Brexit. And so I'm afraid, for me, it kind of runs off my back like water would from a duck's. It's a bit like when I got my job, when I was promoted to this role, to take those difficult decisions. I mean, the Prime Minister knew what he was doing when he put me in here. He knows I'm not somebody to do the hard yards. So whether it's online safety or the BBC or Channel 4, he knew what he was doing. And I knew what I was doing when I decided that we were going to move ahead with a bill that's been in this department also for 6 years, the online safety bill, that we were going to move ahead with another policy that's been hanging around for years, which is sell Channel 4, because there are many reasons why that should happen now. And on the BBC, and of course, I've become almost a hate figure of the left for doing it.
Well, they want to denigrate you as
Personally,
stupid in some way, don't they? As if you don't understand
Yeah.
the policy brief. That seems to be their playbook.
I've got one mission, and that's not really to listen to all those noises off. It's to deliver. I was given a job to do by the Prime Minister, and that job involved delivering on some very difficult policies, and that's what I'm going to do.
When it comes to Channel 4, it's quite clear to me why these people want to keep it in government hands, because it is an organisation that in every nook and cranny is to the left, including the news service, by the way. I mean, for years and years and years, they had a presenter who was famous for saying, F the Tories. So I think we have to put that on the table, that this is a left-wing organisation, and that's absolutely fine if they can survive in the private sector, just like at GBNews. We're obviously coming at the news in a different manner, from a different perspective, and we'll see if the market wants it or not. Do you concede that Channel 4 is a left-wing organisation?
So, look, I'm not going to get tied up in the ideology of Channel 4 whilst making my decisions, because there are some very good reasons why Channel 4 needs to be sold. But what I will say, it doesn't help itself sometimes, having news presenters who do shout those words and some of the things, it just hasn't helped itself. And I think there are people who've tried to help Channel 4 over the years, but it's just never wanted to.
Dorothy Byrne compared Boris Johnson to Putin. She was their most senior news executive for years.
I know. Well, that's what I mean. They just haven't helped themselves. The broadcasting landscape is changing at warp speed. It's getting very tough, but I know, good luck to GBNews, by the way. I mean, I think it's amazing what you've done, and it's very brave what you've done, and so I wish you nothing but the best of luck. People say, oh, she doesn't know how Channel 4 is funded. I know very well how Channel 4 is funded, and I know that if Channel 4 gets into a difficult position, that it comes to the government, because when it needs money borrowing, it can only raise its investments from the government, or it's borrowing from the government. And that if Channel 4 got into a difficult position, it'll be us it comes to. And the decision is quite clear-cut, and it's quite a business case. It's time to... And that, for me, is more of a Thatcherite decision than...
Because This is another
She
misnomer
wanted
from the
to
left,
sell
isn't
it
it?
in
Folk like Kirsty
1988.
Allsop saying Thatcher would be rolling in her grave.
No.
She had changed her mind on Channel 4,
Yeah,
hadn't
and
she?
you know, Charles Moore, who's the absolute expert on who's been through her memoirs and wrote the Downing Street years, I've spoken to him and he's quite clear about the fact that she realised, what she did was she established Channel 4 to act as this seedbed to encourage and to grow new talent in the UK. Why would we be sitting on an asset like Channel 4 when we could sell Channel 4 and use that money to put back into the broadcasting sector, to train people to work, to make more independent content and to keep producing and to keep growing that sector? And I feel very strongly that if Margaret Thatcher were here now, she'd be doing absolutely the right thing to do.
The new Channel 4 news anchor, Krishnan Guru Murthy, has said that the government could ring fence Channel 4 news. Is that something that you would consider?
So I'm not going to get into any discussions about what I would ask why, but I'm going to not get into discussions about what we're doing. Channel 4 will be going through a process of sale, and it's not for me to chop it up into bits and offer it chopped up. It's Channel 4 will be for sale, but you know, we're looking at all sorts of options. I'm not going to say we discount that, but I would ask the question, why would we do that and what would be the benefit of that? Who would benefit from that?
It's wrong to force people to keep paying for the BBC licence fee just to watch TV, right?
You know, I did say to the Prime Minister when I came into my job, I made sure that he was aware of what my views were on the BBC, and he knew what my views were, because frankly, a funding model which was established in 1946, where, as you say, people have to pay, and they may not even watch the BBC just because they own a television set. You know, for so many reasons, it's an outdated model.
Do you understand, as Culture Secretary, that a lot of folk have lost faith with the BBC in recent years because of the fact that before the Brexit referendum, they missed this great cultural change happening in the country? It feels like the BBC in recent years, its news service has become out of touch with ordinary Brits.
And, you know, the BBC accept this themselves. If they had been totally impartial and if they had provided balanced news, lacking in opinion to the public, they wouldn't have had a Sirota review. They wouldn't have had a Dyson review. They wouldn't have had to publish a 10-point plan. They wouldn't have had to publish how that 10-point plan is going to be implemented and look at ways they can measure impartiality within the organisation. They've had to do all of that because they know the criticism is very real. And in fact, Tim Davie, the Director General, says himself, we have a problem with impartiality.
The Online Safety Bill, it's obviously a real passion project of yours. It's divided opinion because a lot of free speech fundamentalists, and I would put myself in that category, worried about the consequences of what a lot of very well-intentioned parts of the policy could mean in terms of shutting down that open debate online.
The Online Safety Bill provides greater protections for freedom of speech than there are right now. And I'll give you an example to illustrate that. So freedom of speech at the moment is decided by kind of the 2003 Miscommunications Act. Now, I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, somebody threatened that they were going to blow up Robin Hood Airport. That person was arrested, they were convicted, and they were charged. Once this bill passes, that will not happen, because that was obviously a joke. That was not something that was tweeted with intent to cause harm. What we do in the bill is we update the 2003 and the 88 Act to actually bring them in line with the reality of today and to strengthen freedom of speech. So, and I'm not quite sure, I understand that people read an original version of the draft bill, but I've changed that bill considerably since I got here. Right now, online platforms, they will take down talk radio for the day. They will slap
I was working there at the time.
Oh, were you? They will slap fake news over a Mail on Sunday article. Yeah. They will take Carl Hennigan. They took down his Twitter account. They won't be able to do that when this bill comes online. It is absolutely shocking that a platform like Twitter bans Donald Trump but keeps the Taliban on board, and President Putin, by the way. And so that's inconsistency. So what we're asking these platforms to do, abide by your terms and conditions, be open and transparent. Let us see how your algorithms work, and put right what you're doing wrong, but be consistent and protect freedom of speech. So we're doing that. That's what we're doing.
And I want to talk.
And I can see that's thrown you. So please, I'm going to give you a copy of the bill to go away and read.
Do you know what? Do you know what? It actually hasn't thrown me. I'm very torn on this issue personally. I mean,
but you need to read the bill to see that it actually enhances freedom of speech now.
I have seen there have been changes, and I appreciate there are huge issues in terms of the tech giants at the moment. Personally, I'm very torn on this because I'm a free speech fundamentalist. At the same time,
well, then you should really support the bill then.
Yeah. At the same time, recently, a relatively high-profile figure actually went to jail for illegal death threats that he had made against me in a long-running online campaign. So he was breaking the law, right? And the social media companies would not take down his posts, even once the police had charged him and this man had been sent to jail. So as long as free speech is protected, I have no issue with the social media companies having to follow the law.
So, Dan, what my mum was doing was illegal. And so there are a number of sections of this bill. What's illegal offline has to be illegal online too.
Exactly.
And freedom of speech, protecting democratic debate, democratic content, journalistic content, that is all important too.